Hi, I'm here to share my COVID story. When I was sick, it helped me so much to YouTube on TV on the couch and see people sharing their story. I watched a lot of scientists with this virus and where they think, what they think I should do, where they think it's going, what to expect, just as much information as I could get. So I am here to share my story since so many people helped me with theirs and I greatly appreciated it. So December 2nd, I started with a migraine. I have had a migraine before when I was in my 20s for 2 days. It was debilitating. You got to keep your eyes closed, no light. I was extremely tired. I had a lot of sinus pressure. And I'm also sharing with you that things go in different orders for different people. And I'm very aware of that. But everybody thinks that they're going to get all the symptoms at once. And that is not how it happened. So that's the other thing I'd like to share. So I had a migraine. I had a lot of pressure in here. It went kind of here and in the back of my neck. I've had neck surgeries and neck issues. So I just kind of thought that, I'm 49. I started some menopausal things and my mom has had lots of migraines. So I pretty much assumed that I was going to start getting migraines with perimenopause or menopause. So I hadn't had my period in like 55 days, so I kind of figured that was what was going on. I had my neighbor in the house working in the living room of a condo where I was on the couch, debilitated with a migraine. He never got it. The second day, same thing. Then I started having massive chills. My lower back hurt really bad, so I thought maybe I had my first kidney infection. Then I started having major menstrual cramps. So again, I thought I had a migraine due to I was going to start my period. Then I decided to take my temperature. I had 99.7. 99.7, 1 degree higher. I felt like it was 106 fever. So I started getting massive chills, cold, hot, sweating, all of those wonderful things. And then the stomachache came. Day 3, I still had the 99.7. And it broke that day. I don't remember what time. And the chills and things like that were there. The stomach aches were bad. I didn't have a lot of nausea. I didn't want food, that's for sure. So by that day, I think I'm starting to forget things. So that's why I decided to do it now. I'm starting to feel better and I want to recollect as much as I can. And that third day, I looked in the fridge and I threw everything I had that had meat in it. I couldn't even look at it or even think about eating it. So I ate vegetarian for 2 weeks. That's pretty much what my body craved. So I listened to that, did that, ate an apple every day. I was trying to drink fluids and I was trying to figure out why I was having such a hard time drinking water. And I knew how important that was. And I realized, at that time, I didn't know my taste was gone, but I realized water tasted like blood. Tasted like there was blood in it. It was disgusting. So I put lemon, oranges, fruit in it, and that took care of that issue for me. Pickles tasted like the weirdest thing on earth. I was trying to eat some fermented foods, and they still taste funny to me. Coffee did not smell good. I had an amazing friend that brought me a big bag of coffee because I was out from Sprouts, and she put it in a bigger bag, and so I had it on the counter because I didn't have a container to put it in, and it was smelling up the kitchen, and I kept saying, what is that disgusting sweet smell? I don't know what that is, and it was coffee. So I don't know. I remember day 3 or 4, lost my senses, and I was like, I either have a massive sinus infection or COVID. I still didn't really know. I was going to the bathroom every 2 hours, pretty much loose stool, maybe too much information, but no diarrhea, no vomiting, but I had every symptom on the list if you look it up from CDC guidelines. Then by day 12 or 14, I started feeling what I thought was so much better. I wasn't contagious anymore. You shed your virus, and you can still be positive, but what they're saying anyway is 10 to 14 days tops if you were severe. I consider mine severe. So Didn't go outside, didn't take walks, but I had this energy and wanted to do those things. So finally at day 14, I did start doing that. I had a professional come in and spray my whole house. They sprayed my car. They disinfected everything. 2 days before that, I started wiping everything down. I didn't have anything to do. With all this COVID time, I had remodeled my place right before COVID last January, and did all the projects I could think of. Like, I just didn't have anything to do. So my business has been really affected. I've almost lost my business, Aesthetics by Faith in Old Town Scottsdale. If anybody wants to support that, that would be great. Take great care of you, trying to keep it open these days. This is not nice, have been friendly to small businesses. And so I just didn't have anything else to do. So I started feeling better, and I actually went and met up with a first-time date. He wasn't afraid. I was very clear about it to him. I thought I was getting better, and then I realized I kind of had this underlying headache still that I just didn't realize because I was kind of like back from the dead. So I thought I was well. I think at that time it was probably maybe 30 or 40% better now that I really have the spunk in my eyes again. I definitely looked dead. I looked pale as a ghost. I didn't have a lot of family support. Unfortunately, we had another grandson born at that time, and she was on bed rest, so they had their own issues and taking care of her, obviously, and you can only do so much with 3 babies and all of that. So I was really on my own, felt very, very lonely, very, very, very depressed. Luckily, I had some really great neighbors, and my friend Shayna helped me. She's a client, and she brought me some things on my porch, and neighbors kept asking me if I needed anything. They didn't even charge me, and they dropped off some food, and that was awesome. And so I'm trying to I feel like I'm missing something. And so I definitely notified my clients that I had seen on Tuesday and 2 on Saturday. I made them get tested. All of them were fine. My family, unfortunately, I saw my family 2 days after Thanksgiving, right before she had the baby early. Luckily, no one got it because a newborn was born, and that would have been horrific. And I don't know if I could have forgiven myself. That would have been so awesome. So terrifying, excuse me. And it is awesome because none of that happened. Nobody got it. And then I basically notified my neighbor, and I was really scared he was going to get it because he was in my house with me when I started with the symptoms, and nobody that I know of got it from me, which is amazing. So I did my best on that. And then December 22nd, I put it on my calendar, 20 days in, I woke up and I had massive pain. Pressure, felt like someone was pushing on me. I was kind of concerned that I might have pneumonia, and I did get tested on December 7th, obviously came back positive from the urgent care. I don't know what the solution is, but I know how they did it shouldn't have been done the way it was done. I went to an urgent care, and they kept me in a waiting area with other people with other things. They're there for other reasons, like sinus infections, broken hand, whatever the case may be. They don't have COVID, and I do, and I'm there coughing and sick and waiting in a waiting area near them. You're 6, whatever we were from each other, but still, like, they should have put me in a room. They should have isolated me. I don't understand any of that. So December 22nd, it went into my lungs, and I don't remember the date, but I wanted to see my family. I want to say December 28th or something. I went and got tested again, and it was still positive. So apparently the average is 30 days positive. Some people up to 5 to 6 months, and they're saying we're not contagious. So I don't know. I'm not a doctor. That's what they're telling me. So still came back positive. I had them do an EKG on me. I was a little worried that possibly I had a blood clot travel, because they do kind of travel slowly and then you just don't wake up, and I didn't want that to happen. I asked them to do a lung x-ray since the EKG came back great, and the tech that was there worked in a different office, and he did his very best after 3 hours of trying to get the Wi-Fi to work with the x-ray. When you're fatigued, this is like 3 days. And he couldn't get it to work. So I called the next day, went to a different urgent care, still associated with them, and they said, yeah, come on in, we'll take the x-ray. So I get there, and they said, we're sorry, because you haven't seen this doctor before, you're going to have to see the doctor before we do an x-ray, and it's a 4-hour wait right now, minimum. And I said, this is where management should come in and make a decision that sometimes you have to break the rules. And I should have also been told this on the phone. I'm not well. And I'm someone that can't breathe. And you're telling me that this is the way it is. And I think this is unacceptable. There are people that need to be seen, and there are people that need x-rays. And I just didn't get one because you guys couldn't do it. So you should have figured it out. So I was really beyond myself at that point. So I had to make a decision whether I was going to go home or go to the ER. I went to the ER because I was taking a lot of breaths like that. I was out of breath a lot. I wasn't turning blue or anything like that, but I couldn't catch my breath fully, and I had a lot of pressure in the front and back of my lungs. So I have never experienced that before, ever, in any kind of illness. I've never had a cough. I don't get those kind of things when I get sick. So I went to ER and told them my situation. I stood the entire time in ER, and I was in front of where the security was, way away from the bay of other sick people. You have to realize when you have COVID, you're still very susceptible to getting anything else. You can get the flu, you can get pneumonia, you can get something else, and that'll do you in. So I wasn't about to be near anyone else. I wasn't about to give anyone COVID just in case they're wrong about the days. So anyway, I stood in front of where security was for 3.5 hours. The first half hour, they went and took an x-ray, and I saw all the bays were full. And it was quiet. I don't know if they were understaffed. Kind of felt like that. Don't know. And I waited 3.5 hours, and then I was like, it's 9 o'clock at night. I've been running around all over the place. This can't be good for me. I feel a little better. I had taken an antacid pill that I started taking because they say that should help too, where you feel like you have GERD or pressure or something like that for the diaphragm area. So I started taking that. So I took that 2 hours before I went in to do all this. And so I thought, I think I can get through the night and see what happens. So I respectfully went to the receptionist and said, I want to say this with all due respect, but I'm really, really exhausted and I'm tired and fatigued. And I was just wondering, if I actually leave here, what happens? I mean, can this x-ray result go to my doctor tomorrow in my chart, or she'll call me and tell me what the results were and go from there? And they said yes. And I said, okay, then I'm respectfully walking out and leaving you and going home because I'm tired. So she said, okay. So the next day, my amazing doctor, Dr. Kristen Thompson, Honor Health, Tempe, Arizona, called me and gave me a DM cough syrup and an inhaler. That made a big difference. So I did 2 puffs every 6 hours, I believe. Every 6 hours. And that started helping. Pain was still there. So I started taking an anti-inflammatory as well, along with the antacid. I upped my vitamin D from what the scientists, my research was, I did, instead of 10,000 IUs I've done for 2 years, I started doing 50,000. And obviously taking vitamin C and supplements and things like that. By the way, I did get my taste back at like 3 weeks. I was on TikTok and I saw a Jamaican talk about charcoaling an entire peel, the whole peel of the orange, and cutting it in half and putting 2 teaspoons of brown sugar and just scooping it out with a spoon and eating it. And it made it about 70% better. I could start tasting food, and that's when I started getting my appetite back, which was really fun and nice. And that was delicious. When I didn't still have taste, for me, everything was texture. So I was eating a lot of olives. Those are fermented too. And I was eating egg salad. That was what worked for me. So I just went with it. Okay, back to, fortunately I didn't have to go back to the ER again. They were full. The urgent cares are full. This gets kind of scary when you're like, I can't breathe and I can't be seen, along with a lot of other people that are bleeding and having problems and can't be seen. And it gets scary. So now it is December, God, I don't even know. Oh my gosh, excuse me. It is January 9th, Saturday. Monday, I went to my naturopath. I should have done that from the beginning. I don't know what I was thinking. Everybody treated me like I had the plague. Nobody wanted to see me. So I was kind of afraid of, like, people are afraid to talk to you on the phone, like they're going to get it through a phone. So I went to her and she gave me an IV drip with immunity vitamins. She gave me a vitamin B shot. And then she gave me a nebulizer with hydrocortisone peroxide to do a breathing treatment. As long as I didn't do that within an hour of my inhaler, I could do both. So I was doing both. The inhaler was making me shaky. It's albuterol and making me nervous and stuff. So I started tapering off on that. I'm still doing the hydrogen peroxide. That's a 2-week treatment, and I'm feeling much better. And I also yesterday, I went back to my naturopath, Dr. Feaster, Natural Choice Medical Care in Tempe, Dr. Joanne Feaster, and they did a blood oxidation. That was fascinating. Kind of like a dialysis, but with your blood. Goes in, goes out, goes in, goes out. They oxidize it. You can see the color difference if you wanted to. It's insane. It looks like juice or like my lips. Turns bright and happy. And that was yesterday, and that was a game changer. After that treatment, game changer. I worked, I saw 3 clients. I was super happy. I had more energy. I am not at the gym yet, but I am doing 12,000 steps a day right now. I still am out of breath a little bit when I do that. I still have some pain. It's only on the left side. She wants to get another x-ray just to compare, make sure. But I do feel like I've really turned a corner, and I'm about 85-90% better. And you can see I'm bright-eyed and looking good now. So I just wanted to share that there's hope. And even if you, especially if you live alone and you're lonely and the depression and the confusion starts and the things that COVID gives you, you're not alone. And this is normal. It will go away. It will get better. Shout out to your friend, tell them you need them, tell someone if you need something, don't be afraid, and just know that there's other ways besides, Western medicine, Eastern medicine. I've always been about, I don't know what happened. I just wasn't mentally clear enough to think about what I really believe in. And that really has helped tremendously. Self-care is everything. Paying for that and doing that without having much money is completely worth it. And you can be a survivor too. All right. I hope to hear from you, and I hope you get well soon. And I'm praying for everybody. Happy New Year.